All right.
We're back.
We're back for
Coffee and Cold Ones with HD and Team Jonathan. We are going to show you a recreational activity that you can do to help take care of yourself, to help you unwind and maybe process some things that you might be dealing with.
Right. So what we have right here, we just did a book review for it. So I run a publishing company, and we have a bunch of authors and a bunch of books out. So this is a coloring book. The idea, I came out with it, I think sometime last year. But basically, I have a young adult fantasy novel. I have 2 out right now. But I wanted to make something that, because sometimes we do Comic-Con events, and, most of my books specifically are geared towards, teens and young adults, or adults.
More mature adults.
Mature, right? And but we would get kids at our booth, and, we have children's books too, so they would usually buy those, right? But I was like, man, I could never break into that market because I have no intention of doing children's books.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm like, you know what? What if I came up with something that a person could enjoy, even if somebody's not a reader?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the coloring book came in.
Way to tap into your creative side.
Oh, yeah. And this book has, it's from different illustrators. And so what we're going to demonstrate is a recreational activity. So we're going to color. You're going to watch us color. And
whenever COVID happened, I bought myself like an adult coloring book, and I would just sit there and color, and then I would think, because we couldn't really talk to anybody face to face. I could have called somebody, but I would just think and color, and that was the way that I would process my stuff.
Right.
I was processing it on my own. Through my own means of being creative. I was tapping into that creative side, and that was very healing for me at that time of some things that were happening. But
that's good. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do today, because, this is, because, adult coloring books has been a growing thing I've seen that people do. And sometimes I think we forget, we were kids once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And forget how...
when I think the term coloring book, sometimes it's really a coloring book.
Right.
An adult coloring book. So maybe we can coin a new term. Or if somebody else can coin a new term.
Super coloring book.
A creative, I don't know, something. We'll think about it. We'll let you know next time.
Nice. So,
well, I like how there's word puzzle, what are those called? Crossword puzzle? No. Word searches. There's word searches in there too. Which I like word searches. I get one every Christmas in my stocking.
Nice. I think I used to get them for my birthday.
Your birthday.
So I'm going to be coloring this character. This is one of my favorites. And the cool part, I think, would you color inside the lines well or no?
Color inside the lines?
Are you good at that now?
I'm perfect at it. I used to teach kindergarten. I had to teach kids how to color inside the lines.
Nice. I think the cool part about coloring, or those that get involved in doing music, is I think it allows you to tap sometimes into emotions. You know what I mean? That. Maybe you don't normally think about, or maybe they're there and maybe you struggle with putting words to it, Yeah.
So are you a lyric person or a rhythm and beat?
I think it all depends. If I'm in my feels, it might be the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because I still listen to, I'm an 80s baby, so I still listen to 90s R&B, and that's all in your feels, because sometimes, I know, especially being a dude, sometimes we struggle with, expressing ourselves verbally. And I think like coloring and art allows you to
Or like, I mean,
do that.
I'm a lyric person, and I think that's just like, you know, being a right brain, left brain person, like, you know, right brain versus left brain person. But it's like sometimes like I'm listening to a song and like they'll, you know, whatever the lyric is, and I'm just like, yes, like if I had the words, like you can't always like come up with the words on your own, but like someone else says it and you just find meaning in it, or you just really connect with the lyrics. I don't know. I'm a lyric person. When I'm really angry and just in my feels. Right. Are we allowed to say names of artists, or is that a copyright issue?
Probably a copyright issue.
Okay, well, sorry, guys. You can message me and I'll tell you.
Pick for an eye color.
Green. I'm just exploring all the little cool depictions.
Nice.
Oh, and I like how there's like blank pages at the end, so you can like put your own ideas or your own drawings or anything that comes to mind. You can add yourself.
Nice. It just feels, I'm not gonna lie to you, it feels like as I'm doing this, it feels just like relaxing. You know what I mean?
Even like at the school, you know, I have students that I'm like, oh, well, do you journal? And I'll give them a journal and they'll kind of write a little bit. But then after a while, they just start doodling. And like, it's not really a picture of anything. Like they're just, and they're so into it. And then, you know, at the end of it, I'm like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? And they're like, I feel so much better. Like that was just such a release of energy, emotion. Like, not that writing things doesn't help and not that talking doesn't help, but paired with this creativity, it's a good thing for them. Somebody's calling. We denied them. Sorry.
Denied. If you ain't my mama, I ain't answering. But yeah, I find, I know like, with some of my patients or my clients, I tend to do a lot of, I'm not an art therapist, but I do sometimes give like art related homework or even actually lyrical homework. Yeah. Because sometimes I like, you know, if somebody's very left brained and detail oriented, it allows them to go into the abstract. Or if they're right brain oriented, it allows them to go left brain. But also I think sometimes I need to sit with the emotion. And, you know, especially adults, we tend to be more, you know, front brained. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, like where the pain is, it's in the back. But we filter or we set up walls enough to not. And it's good sometimes to be able to compartmentalize that stuff. But it very easily ends up being like a garage where you just leave all your stuff and it builds and builds. You don't do anything with it, yeah. Like you start taking things out, but then you don't do anything with it, so then it's just clutter. And it doesn't have a place and doesn't serve a purpose. So you have to, you know, find a place and a purpose for it and find something useful to do with it and to do, or to get it to where it needs to be. Nice. So I'm doing a word search. I get those terms mixed up. I call it a word puzzle, but I don't know how.
So this is a word search because you're searching for the words. And then a crossword puzzle is where it's the boxes and you have to, where it's like a 4-letter word.
Look how awesome that is already. Something. I'm not gonna lie, I might be a color genius. You know what I mean?
You're just gonna have your own line of coloring books now.
Oh yeah. Well, my plan is to do, so this one, it's not really spoiler alert because you can already see the book. So this one is actually a combination of my first book, which has this cover, and the second book. As you can...
Book 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Which I have... Here's book 2, just so you have a reference, so... And I think, actually... There's actually some of the art in this book.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, but you got to read the whole book to get there.
So where can our viewers find these coloring books?
So this you can find on Amazon. On December 10th, you'll be able to order it also on Barnes & Nobles. We also sell overseas, so those of you that, maybe are in Australia or Europe, you can get these books. But also, this is the shameless plug part. My book series, Those Who Live by the Sword. So, because I know some people maybe don't want to color, maybe they want to read. And these books are thick enough to where, and reading too also is another way, I think, to engage in, processing, but even just
like relating to characters and giving you ideas, or just reading about something and you're like, okay, like I'm going through something and it's only happening to me. Oh no, like there's other people that it could happen to. Or it just gives you that perspective of your experience is not as, I don't want to say your experience isn't unique, but it's not as like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Right. It's like
people have also gone through what you've gone through, maybe, and having a perspective on how to navigate it.
Right. And I kind of, like, when I wrote this book, you can even tell, like, flipping through the pages. Mind you, this does not include all of the characters in my book, but, like, each one, you can even tell, is different. Yeah. And I wrote the characters in a way to where you as the reader can connect, with the character, but also where as this character suffers or they work through a problem, you can kind of see yourself reflected in that and think about your own situation of like, okay, this person that's similar to me worked it out this way. What tools do I have to... That's actually pretty cool.
Everybody can, like, relate differently, too. So it may be the same character, same type of situation, but our own perspectives and views play a part in how it's interpreted.
I'm
coloring in an ice cube.
It looks legit.
Because it's cold out here.
Yeah, it's muy frio right now. But yeah, so...
My little ice cube.
To our therapists out there and our viewers, we strongly want to encourage you, take time for recreation, because I think especially those of us in the helping fields, we tend to put ourselves last and forget that you matter. Not just the people you're working or helping, but you also matter.
You can only take people as far as you've taken yourself.
Exactly. And those of you who maybe work very busy schedules, it's going to take some intentionality, You may have to schedule the recreational time. Going to the gym and doing these other things are good, but don't forget, like, you're a creative person, and if you never engage in that, there's a part of you that's just not being used. How do you feel now that you've colored?
I just feel cold because it's cold out here, but I feel like I've tapped into my creative side, and I feel like it's something that we need to schedule more time for.
All right. Well, follow and subscribe. We'll see y'all on the flip side.
Bye.
Peace.
I'm enjoy this life, because the devil said, we never would. Summertime feeling sublime, walking in the sun's light, feel the sunlight on my face, shining bright with the sunshine. I'm walking on cloud 9, cause the sun Christ give me grace.